Cash flow is the financial breath of an organization in a capitalist framework. And as long as you have more money coming in than going out overall, you have an economically viable entity. Now, this is useful in a capitalist framework because in a situation where money is valued more than the end goal and more than the people who created money, it's dangerous not to have any. And so the more financial freedom an entity has, in this case a 10x community, the more it's able to pursue its goals. So let's look at a couple of different things. So number one, we want the ability to purchase anything needed from the outside economy that's key to well-being. And another goal is that all money spent is intelligent, meaning, the lowest form of intelligence is to spend vast amounts of money making people miserable. And this is not uncommon in the larger cult framework. So to measure the impact of each dollar spent and then to spend more money in the areas that deliver higher levels of well-being. To provide as many ways as possible for community members to work on the compound, either remotely, via Zoom meetings and coaching and therapies, etc., or in person. And to ensure that the community can be entirely self-funded. This is a very important thing for scaling. It's fine to have a wealthy philanthropist fund a given community and take $1 billion and slowly wear it down to 500 million. But this is not scalable. What you want to do is take something in the neighborhood of 1.5 million and create a 7-year model where predictably all of that debt can be repaid, and then you've got a 100% independently owned, cash flow positive community within 7 years for 130 people, give or take. That's a good model, which once it can be developed as proof of concept, and the books are transparent on blockchain, etc., you've got indefinite scalability. And the world desperately needs fewer slums, fewer traumatic abuse hubs, and more 10x communities. So the strategy is to make remote work easy. Look for opportunities to utilize government land in partnerships that deliver community value. So, for example, if there are people in the community that don't have the cost for a traditional funeral, and the community is able to, create beautiful gardens and, small plots of land where a family can have a ceremony, can dig the grave, and can bury a body 3 feet underground, which is enough for the air to still reach so the organs and things do not turn anaerobic to an extreme, and that the blood, etc., can become fertilizer. This is beautiful, and then can be digested and nourished and brought into the life of a plant. If that can be done for a $1,000 ceremony rather than a $10,000 ceremony, well, that is a service to the community. And the more things of that nature, be it organic food, be it quarantine facility, be it traumatic repair, be it coaching. The more services that a 10X organization can provide to the community, the more intelligent it is for a community to say, here's 10 acres, here's 20 acres, follow these ecological guidelines. Now, please bring the intelligent amenities to our community that we lack the intelligence to do for ourselves. Another is to look for opportunities in dying towns and counties in America where a community project is needed and welcome, and the land is free. Again, that's a very intelligent proposition. Shelter individuals from taxes wherever possible, using a conscious tax strategy to ensure that the nonprofit foundation of the community helps ensure money stays on the land, benefits the community, and can go to seed additional community. Develop skills within the community based on how can we bring the most value to other people. This is a terrific question to ask as the basis for community. Partner with universities for ecology and sociology studies, again, providing access to university funding. Create a larger community membership as follows in tax-deductible donations. So if you're outside the community but want to participate in it, be a friend and get notified of things. Be a supporting friend and be invited to 4 festivals a year. Be an angel friend and adopt a person or project within the community for, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 or more per year. This, I should note, is tremendously, more cost-effective than the typical unwanted home scenario where you send off your unwanted relatives to an old people's home. Be a founding friend and contribute, $15,000 or more, and have free access to the community and its events. And so this is a tremendously, useful and intelligent framework. Track community cash flow and individual cash flow with the app. Create a 30% protocol that sees that there is 30% more cash than is needed at any given moment for future dreams, crises, and being able to focus on vision. When you do not respect money in a capitalist framework, you are constantly imprisoned and defined by it. I need this. I can't do this because I don't have the money. I can't do this because, and so when you create abundance, you transcend money and move into what's the most valuable use of my time today. For example, this video is the most valuable use of my time today. It costs me money to make this video. It doesn't deliver a dime to put it out there. But I'm not focused on money. Why? Because I have enough in the bank to not have to worry about anything for at least a year, maybe 3. And so that's the recipe for transcending money. If you never want to think about money again, create a surplus of money and then put it out of mind. Form a religion and provide community members, well, that's actually not related to cash flow, but possibly the creation of psychedelic rituals for the larger community within the religious framework. Their set and setting is what is really emerging in the Johns Hopkins and other university-funded research on psychology and psychedelics. And so, to be able to provide a 10 times more grounded, sane, healthy, competent, safe, quiet, and nurturing environment is a tremendous resource for the larger community. test each community member's skill aptitude as part of the joining process, and challenge people to become good enough at doing something, at delivering value in some form, to belong. This is the healthy form of competition, because as you have 100 competent people, you have exponentially higher return for all members than 100 incompetent people. Actively support the integration process and learning process so that everyone is improving their value consciously all the time, and that this is part of a 10x habit. That if you're not improving your skill in some area that delivers well-being to you and yourself, then there's something off with your operating system. And if you're committed to an off operating system, you have the privilege of joining the larger cult and not being part of a 10x community framework, because the larger cult is committed to large amounts of suffering and incompetence, and you're perfectly welcome to be a part of that. Creating an app function that helps people develop goals and track their movement towards the goals. And I think it's useful that this is relatively public. Public support when you're in a healthy framework is about where are you stuck, how can we help, versus what's wrong with you, why didn't you take a single step towards your goals. And so, that's, I think the goal needs to be effective, competent, compassionate enough to be worthy of that transparency, and that members are visible in where they're flowing and where they're stuck, so that there's a basis for healing in those areas. Provide members with a variety of things that they can do well to serve the community and the world. You have virtual assisting. It's tremendously important, and it's very difficult to find good virtual assistants. You have graphic and media editing services that can be done worldwide. You have community building consulting to help other communities form. You have self-employed jobs that help the community and clients, including accounting, massage, natural birthing, gardening, art, pet care and training for various people on vacation in the larger cult around, natural birthing, dying in preparation, and elderly care. Tremendously useful thing for the community to practice its empathy on, and for, I would love to be able to die in a 10x community. Childcare and education. So cash flow is about lowering costs and increasing profit or income, and the net balance is cash flow. So whether it's, if we take a typical $15,000 burial in the United States and reduce that to free for community members and perhaps $1,000 for non-community members, you're not only saving 90%, for everyone, you're eliminating that cost, and so you need less income, so you can be freer with less. And so reducing education, it may be fine to apply for educational private schooling, based on being able to pass some test, or it may be fine just to give that up entirely, and under whether it's religious auspices or something else, to be able to not deal with traditional education, but certainly to be able to learn skills on the community in a mentoring capacity, and make sure that every child has a a laptop with access to world-class best practices and engagement, there's few things that are a better preparation for life. Food costs are less expensive growing food on your own land. Community art and gardens are 50% less thanks to our own and use of recycled materials. Car and transportation is 80% less due to shared cars and a minimized need for cars. Entertainment costs are far less because when you don't have a miserable life, you don't need to go and divert your attention from a great life to survive. Taxes are 60% less due to the nonprofit and deliberately structuring. You see, in a graded tax system, the more money you make, the more money you pay in taxes. So in the United States, for example, you can make roughly $30,000 a year and pay almost nothing because there's the standard deduction. So in other words, if we can, with the use of tiny houses, shared facilities, growing our own food, allow a person to do, for example, extraordinarily well, have a 10x lifestyle on $25,000 of income a year, with $5,000 going towards investment and retirement, bringing it up to 30, with zero taxes. Now you have, again, you've taken that friction out of the equation. Healthcare costs are less due to the legal workarounds in the US are difficult. Like in Thailand, I can have my teeth cleaned by a terrific dentist for $30. The exact same thing in the San Francisco Bay Area costs $200, 6 times more. The experience is 5 times less enjoyable in the US than it is in Thailand. I would say the skill level is higher in Thailand. So the skill level is higher, it's 6 times cheaper, it's more spontaneous. There are things like that which may be able to be brought in-house, but certainly, just having a healthier, more integrated life with others is a good way to live better and healthier and spend less money repairing the defects of a larger, dissociated, and traumatized cult.